Now, in this pregnancy, because I was working out the whole like first first 4 months of my pregnancy because I did not want to gain too much weight. My other pregnancies, I didn't do that. This time I was going to work out, but I also didn't want to have a miscarriage, so I was careful. But the thing is, I was pregnant when I was doing Muay Thai, and I was in a boot camp class. I was doing crunches, all that stuff, had no idea. So I told my instructors that I was pregnant, so they like changed. I didn't do the boot camp anymore, but they changed the workout for me. And I did that until I was about 6 months, actually 4 or 5 months. And then I was told about the placenta previa that I couldn't work out. I had to like, no working out, no intimacy, and getting off my feet. So I had a lot of Braxton Hicks, a lot of pressure. I would go to the specialist every week. I got a lot of ultrasound pics, which I loved. Then they would put the monitors on me to make sure the baby was moving, the heartbeat was fine. And then because of the placenta previa, they decided they were going to do a C-section at 36 weeks. And when I was about 8 months pregnant, my doctor was like, listen, they told me that the placenta previa is not the bad one that gets stuck to your uterus, but I want to be sure since I'm the one doing the C-section. So she's like, I want you to have an MRI. Now, I do not have claustrophobia. I am fine with going in MRI machines, but going in there as a huge pregnant woman was freaking anxiety. I had anxiety the whole time. I had to like talk to myself in my head to keep myself calm. I almost pressed the button to get pulled out. I felt like I was in there for a long time. They kept telling me, hold your breath. I'm like, it's hard to hold my breath with my baby in here. And I felt like I had no space. I was terrified. Finally, I was done. She's like, okay, I got the results. It's the regular placenta previa. It's not the one I was afraid of, so that's good. And so we scheduled my C-section, and she was like, you have to let me know by a certain time if you're gonna get your tubes tied or not. So her nurse called me while my husband and I were at Walmart shopping, and she's like, well, everything's been scheduled, be there at this time, all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, I've decided I'm gonna get my tubes tied. She's like, okay. I told her this on a Thursday. My C-section was on a Monday. And my doctor had told me, as long as you tell me, you know, I think it was like a day before, that's fine. Actually, no, it was a Wednesday. I told her a Wednesday. My C-section was Monday or Tuesday. And so we go to have the C-section. My kids are in school, so I'm trying to remember. It's so foggy, even though it was like not even a year ago, almost a year ago. So my goodness, my kids were in school. No, we took our kids to school, and because this time, usually my C-sections are early in the morning, but this time it wasn't. It was in the afternoon. And so my brother was gonna pick the kids up from school and bring them to the hospital. So, and he was gonna take them out to eat to make sure they had dinner and then bring them to the hospital. So we took them to school, gave them kisses and everything. And the principal was like, almost time. I said, today. She's like, all right. So we go in the car, we go to the hospital. I called the pastor again and told him, he said, okay, I'm out of town, but I will come. Because we didn't tell really a lot of people we were pregnant because of what happened last time. So we just told like close family members, and of course people who could see. And my maternity leave started at work, so excited. And I went to the hospital, did everything, cleaned up everything, put the monitor on. She was moving, beautiful heart rate. And of course we're nervous. My husband puts on his doctor clothes again. And we go into the room, and I requested the same anesthesiologist that I had last time because, she was amazing, but she moved to a new practice. So I had someone else. She was amazing. And so they do the epidural. I lay down. I'm like so excited. My doctor comes in, and actually no, this is before the C-section started. We're in the room, and she's like, wait a minute, we're cutting your tubes, doing your tubes too? And I said, yeah. She's like, I didn't know that. And I'm like, well, I told your nurse like on Wednesday or Thursday. She was like, that's why. And so she went back. She's like, okay. And then we go to the room, and they make you tell them what they're doing today so everybody can hear it and it's recorded. She's like, so what are we doing today? And I'm like, a C-section and tubes tied. She's like, okay. So then we go, and she starts the process. I lose a lot of blood, and they were afraid I would need to have bags of blood sent to the room for a transfusion, but thank God I didn't need that. And when they took my daughter out, the cord was on her neck, well, from what my husband told me. But she was alive and she was fine because I had my freaking doctor who was on her shit and got me my specialist that I should have had with my last pregnancy. And so I could hear her cry. They're cleaning her up. Now, mind you, I keep forgetting stuff. I'm so sorry. The specialist, when I was in my 9th month, was like, we're gonna give you steroids. It'll help the baby's lungs since she's coming out at 36 weeks. The doctor never wrote that in her notes. So when I called that Friday before my C-section, I said, hey, the doctor never gave me the steroids she said I would get. And she's like, well, she never put it in the notes, and unfortunately you need to have the steroids a week or 2 weeks before the C-section for it to work. So now I'm pissed. Then I go to an appointment, and that doctor, that was my doctor for my daughter that passed, they called him and they called my name. PTSD, I flipped out, but they were talking to another person who had the same first name as me. And I had to breathe because I almost had a panic attack. Then, so now we had her. She's good, but her lungs need help. So she has to go to the NICU. But I'm like, I don't care as long as she's alive and she's fine. And so my doctor, I see her get the tubes out. Like, she was not playing with that. I could see. And my husband saw it too. He was like, damn. And I guess a nurse came over and was like, oh, I've always wanted to see this. And my doctor gave her the illest look, like, you better go take care of that baby and do your damn job type of look. And my doctor's the bomb, so she's doing everything. So she's like, okay, we're done here. She had to go do another birth. So they were finishing up closing everything up. She came over to me. She saw me crying. She's like, she's fine. And she kind of like held my face, which made me cry even more. Oh my God. And then so she left to take care of the other mom. And I told my husband, like I always do, you stay with her, I'm fine. So they take me I got to hold her and give her kisses. And then they took her, and my husband went with her. And I think she was quiet a little bit. That's why I was freaking out. But then she started crying, and it was because she was having a hard time with her lungs. So he goes with her to the NICU. I'm going to the room. I lost a lot of blood, but not enough to need a transfusion. My sister-in-law shows up. She comes in the room with me. And because my husband, the kids have school, they decide that she's going to stay with me and he's going to stay at home with the kids. And so last time, the NICU would not allow anyone but the parents and grandparents in the room when I had my first kid, and I felt so bad for my sister-in-law This time they changed the rules. As long as we had the people's name on a list, they could go. So I was able to add my sister-in-law and my brother. And this is the first time that my brother was able to be there when they were born, which he was so excited about. And because he had moved here, so he was able to be there for the pregnancy. He spoiled me. He would bring me food all the time when he came to see the kids. Yeah, so my sister-in-law came with me to the room. I got to go to the NICU to see her. My sister-in-law was with us, and I got sick because of the epidural, which was my second time ever getting sick. And she had this like thing on her nose to help her breathe. And I got to do skin to skin. My husband got to do skin to skin. And I went to the room. My sister-in-law brought me food, but I couldn't really eat it. I got sick. And I'm gonna stop there because I'm at freaking 11 minutes. I'll be back.